let us discuss something about international trade. Okay? International trade. Generally speaking, international trade deals with international trade theory, international trade policy, balance of payments, adjustment in balance of payments, and international economic relations between nations and between international economic institutions such as IMF, IBRD and the like. Okay? Now, just know what is international trade. As we all well aware that international trade refers to trade between nations, trade between different countries of the world. If it is so, what is inter-regional trade or domestic trade? See, here we have to differentiate international trade from inter-regional trade. Inter-regional trade is trade among or between states within a country, within the nation. For example, Kerala and Karnataka, or Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and the like. We know Kerala is a consumer state. If it is so, Kerala imports food items, vegetables, related fruits, etc. from our nearest states, Karnataka or Tamil Nadu. Okay? What I am saying is, inter-regional trade we mean trade within the country. Okay? Trade within the country. Trade between different states within the country. On the other hand, international trade refers to trade between nations, between countries of the world. For example, trade between India and England, or trade between America and France, and the like. Okay? And there are certain differences, notable differences between inter-regional trade and international trade. Okay? In the case of inter-regional trade, factors of production such as land, labor, capital and organization. Here, other than land, the rest of the factors, labor, capital, etc. are mobile within the country in the case of inter-regional trade. On the other hand, in the case of international trade, factors are immobile, cannot be shifted, cannot be moved easily from one nation to another nation. Okay? See, in the case of inter-regional trade, same currency is used. Okay? On the other hand, in the case of international trade, different currencies are used. Very simple. In the case of inter-regional trade, see, same climatic or geographical conditions exist. But in the case of international trade, see, climatic conditions may vary from nation to nation. Okay, the geographical condition, see, the geographical territory may vary from nation to nation. Okay, again, in the case of inter-regional trade, the factor endowments are more or less, see, constant. Availability of factor endowments, factors of productions. Okay, availability of factors of productions. We know India is a federation in the sense that there is a center and there are states. Now we have 28 states and union territories. Okay? In India, availability of factor endowments or the characteristics of factor endowments are more or less constant, more or less similar. But in the case of international trade, see, factor endowments, factors of production vary from nation to nation. Okay. See, these are the notable differences between inter-regional trade and international trade. Right? Then, let us clearly note certain theories of international trade. Right? See, here the subject given is international trade. International trade. Trade between two or more countries of the world. Or international trade refers to international economics. International economics deals with the international trade, no doubt. Okay? Again, international economics deals with international trade, that is international trade policy. First of all, first one, international trade policy. No. First one, international trade theory. Here the key word is theory, which means various theories. Different theories have been put forward from time to time by different economists. For example, theory of absolute cost advantage. The theory of absolute cost advantage by Adam Smith, father of economics. Okay? Then comes the theory of comparative cost advantage by David Ricardo, another well-known classical economist. Again, Heckscher-Ohlin theory. And see, certain concepts or certain ideas which have been put forward by Leontief. That is popularly known as Leontief paradox. Okay, now just international economics deals with international trade, such as international trade theory. Here the key word is theory. Several theories have been put forward. Okay, I will tell you in detail later on. And then comes international trade policy. Here the key word is policy. International trade policy. See, certain policies, fiscal policies, monetary policies, etc. have to be formulated from time to time by the fiscal or monetary authorities or by the concerned authorities of the country. Okay? International trade policy. And thirdly, balance of payments. Balance of payments. See, by the concept, balance of payments we mean, see, the clear-cut, systematic recording of all financial transactions of a country with the rest of the world during a given period of time, usually 1 year, that is the budget year, that is the financial year, that is the period varies from 1st April and ends on 31st March. In India, budget year begins with 1st April and ends on 31st March. Okay. Ready? That is balance of payment. See, once again, balance of payments we mean the systematic or actual recording, writing down, see, the entire financial transactions of a country with the rest of the world. The entire economic transactions of a country with the rest of the world during a given period of time, say 1 year, that is an accounting year, that is the period varies from 1st April and ends on 31st March if it is the case of India. Ready? And fourth one, adjustments. Adjustments in balance of payments. Adjustments in balance of payments. Hello? There is every possibility of being disequilibria in balance of payments. This equilibrium may be in the form of surplus or deficit. Okay, such a disequilibria in balance of payments must have to be remedied, must have to be solved by the timely or timely intervention, timely interference by the government or by the concerned monetary authority. Okay, okay, let us prepare all these things later on. And lastly, number fifth one, international economic relations. International economic relations between nations or between countries or between international financial institutions like IMF, IBRD, etc. Okay, these are the just subject matter of international economics. I told you, international economics deals with international trade theory, international trade policy, balance of payments, adjustments in balance of payments, and international economic relations between countries and between international financial institutions such as IMF, International Monetary Fund, and IBRD, that is the World Bank, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Okay, again, international trade theory. See, international trade theory. See, I mentioned there are several theories which have been put forward from time to time by different economists. We have Adam Smith. Adam Smith. We all well aware that Adam Smith was regarded as the father of economics. Ready? Adam Smith, the first classical economist, wrote a well-known book, magnum opus, right? Magnum opus, entitled The Wealth of Nations. Wealth of Nations. It published in the year 1776. Note the point. See, Adam Smith, we know, the father of economics, who defined economics as the science, the study, economics is the study of wealth itself, right? And he published his well-known book entitled The Wealth of Nations in the year 1776. In this book, his well-known work, The Wealth of Nations, he strongly criticized the mercantilists. The mercantilists. See, we know, and if it is so, see, now at this particular point, let us discuss about the views on mercantilism or mercantilism. Mercantilism. Before analyzing or explaining the Adam Smith's theory of international trade, that is the absolute cost advantage theory, we just know what is mercantilism. 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 Yes. Mercantilism. Okay. What is mercantilism? Mercantilism is the economic philosophy, economic thought. Okay. Economic thought which popularized the economic views during 16th century in certain European countries like Britain, France, Spain and Holland or Netherlands. Okay? By mercantilism we mean a particular type of economic philosophy or economic thought which popularized the economic views, okay, during the 16th century in certain countries, certain European countries such as Britain, France, Spain, Holland, etc. Okay? According to the mercantilist, see, the best way for a nation to become rich was to export more than imported. See, to export more than it imported. Okay? Mercantilists unanimously believed exports leads to inflow of precious metals in the form of gold or bullion. Ready? And mercantilists were absolutely in favor of protectionism rather than free trade, protected trade, restricted trade. Okay? And mercantilists measured the wealth of a nation in terms of gold, itself. Okay? And they believed a country having more gold, that country may be treated as a richest country of the world. In short, what is mercantilism? A particular thought, okay, a particular philosophy which, see, popularized the economic views during 16th century in certain European countries like Britain, France, Spain, Holland or Netherlands, etc. According to the mercantilists, see, the best way, the most effective way for a nation to become rich was to export more than it imported, because exports leads inflow of precious metals in the form of gold. Ready? The mercantilists measured the wealth of a nation in terms of gold. Okay? In short, mercantilists were absolutely in favor of restricted trade. That means a country should be, maximize the volume of its exports. Okay? Maximum quantity of commodities should be exported. Okay? But imports must have to be minimized, because exports, each and every item of exports leads the inflow of precious metals or bullion, that is especially in the form of gold. Yeah. And again, I told you, mercantilists believed, or measured the wealth of a nation, how rich it was, based on the quantity of gold it had. Ready? And that such arguments or ideas of the mercantilists has been strongly opposed or criticized by our beloved father of economics, Adam Smith. Okay? Adam Smith. Adam Smith. Yes. Okay, I mentioned Adam Smith, popularly known as the father of economics, who published a well-known work, a magnum opus. Ready? Wealth of Nations in the year 1776. See, in his book, he strongly criticized the views of the mercantilist. Adam Smith states that, according to Adam Smith, government of the country should follow the principle of laissez-faire. The principle of laissez-faire. The principle of laissez-faire, which means let alone. Yeah. Adam Smith pointed out that the government of the country should follow, must follow the principle of laissez-faire. Adam Smith advocated, coined this concept, laissez-faire. Means let alone. Yeah, by laissez-faire, Adam Smith means government of the country or king of the country should not interfere in any of the economic activities such as what to produce in which quantities, how to produce or for whom to produce, how to maintain faster economic development, how to achieve economic stability, etc., 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 etc. Okay? Government of the country should not interfere any of the economic activities. Okay? Economic activities or economic programs should be, see, it is the free play of the market. Free play of the market, we mean market transactions, demand, supply, etc. should let free. The government should not interfere in any of the economic activities, any of the market forces such as quantity demanded or quantity supplied, the determination of prices, etc. It is the only duty of the government to protect the citizens from external attack or external aggression or see internal disorders or internal rebellion, and thereby to keep see peace or coexistence or harmony within the nation. Okay? Adam Smith pointed out that government of the country should not interfere in any of the economic activities such as what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, etc. What is the role of the government? The role of the government should be limited to protect the citizens from external attack or internal disorders or internal rebellion, and thereby to keep internal peace or harmony within the economic system within the country. That is the only duty of the government. Ready? Yeah. He says, see, the free play of the market will determine, okay, and here supply creates its own demand. See, the free play of the market, that is demand and supply, will determine, see, or will solve the entire economic programs, okay, on the basis of market mechanism or price mechanism. We know it is the price mechanism or it is the market mechanism which helps to solve the above mentioned all problems such as what to produce, okay, how to produce and for whom to produce, etc., etc., etc. Ready? Yes. Here we just analyze the most important, the first theory put forward by Adam Smith, namely the absolute cost advantage theory of international trade. See, the absolute cost advantage theory of international trade. Absolute cost advantage theory of international trade. See, according to Adam Smith, each and every country can specialize and produce those commodities for which it has an absolute cost advantage. Ready? And those commodities, see, what I am saying is, Adam Smith argued that each country can specialize and produce those commodities for which it has an absolute cost advantage and export it, and import those commodities for which it has absolute cost disadvantage. It means that, see, international trade, according to Adam Smith, international trade will definitely leads to division of labor, specialization, faster economic development, proper or efficient allocation of resources within the world economy rather than a particular country. Ready? For example, India, we know, agricultural based economy. It means that at present, more than 60% of the Indian people or population of the country directly depends on agriculture for their livelihoods, no doubt. That is why we can say that India is an agricultural economy, agricultural based economy. India is a developing economy, at the very same time India is an agricultural based economy. According to Adam Smith pointed out that if India having factor endowments, see, favorable climatic conditions, okay, see, availability of large supply of labor force, India can produce maximum food grains from the agriculture sector of the economic system, and it should be exported. The surplus output after the domestic consumption. If it is so, the maximum production can be, okay, maximum production is possible, and after the the surplus produce, whatever it may be, rice, paddy, whatever it may be, the agriculture from the agriculture sector must have to be exported to the required or needed countries. On the other hand, England, we know, industrialized economy, industrialized country. Okay, yeah. In England, it is very cheap, it is very easy to manufacture manufacture machines, tools, etc. from the industrial sector of the economic system. Okay, and if it is so, there is a very possibility of engage or enter trade between England and India. India can export agricultural products to England, and England can export, or India can import machines, tools, and related other equipments from England. Okay? Yeah. See, in short, Adam Smith pointed out that each and every country can specialize and produce those commodities for which it has an absolute, not comparative, absolute cost advantage, and export it, and import those commodities or those items in which it had absolute cost disadvantage. Okay? Yes. And this idea of Adam Smith can be easily explained with the help of a schedule or with the help of an illustration. Ready? Here, Adam Smith, assumes, this theory is based on certain unrealistic assumptions, right? This theory is based on certain unrealistic assumptions. First of all, the absolute cost advantage theory by Adam Smith is based on the unrealistic assumption of perfect competition or perfect competitive market. What is perfect competition? Or what is perfect competitive market? Yeah, it should be remembered here that, perfect competition is purely an imaginary concept. Okay? Perfect competition is purely an imaginary concept, just an imaginary concept. No such perfect competitive market or perfect competitive economic system has existed, or no such perfect competitive market is existing, or no such perfect competition or perfect competitive market is likely to exist. That is why here it is said perfect competition is purely an imaginary concept. If it is so, based on such unrealistic assumption, say perfect competition, the theory is absolutely criticized by many modern economists. Okay? And again, the theory of absolute cost advantage has been based on full employment. What is full employment? Full employment of all factors of production, namely land, labor, capital, and organization. In such a situation, none which remains unemployed. That is a practical impossibility. See, fuller utilization of available or existing productive resources. Such a situation has been often referred to as full employment. But such a situation cannot be attained by any economic system at any point of time. Okay? Yes. If it is so, in that respect too, the theory of absolute cost advantage has been strongly criticized by various economists, by many modern economists. Again, Adam Smith assumed, see, the taste or preferences of the people, see, the taste or preferences are same. Okay? In both the countries. How it is possible? We know taste or preferences are purely subjective. Okay? Purely subjective. It varies from person to person. Ready? It varies from place to place, or it varies from country to country. Okay? Based on such an unrealistic assumption also, this theory has been strongly opposed. Again, see, Adam Smith pointed out that laborers of both countries are equally efficient. Equally efficient. How is homogeneous labor forces? Homogeneous labor force. It is also impossible. Ready? See, just let us examine, let us explain Adam Smith's view on absolute cost advantage theory by taking into account a particular table or schedule. Okay. See, take two countries. Take two countries, America and Britain. America and Britain. America and Britain. Ready? Britain. Items. Food and clothing. 2, 4, 1, 6. See, 2 units, 4 units, just 1 unit and 6 units. Hello? What I am saying is, Adam Smith's view regarding absolute cost advantage can be easily illustrated, easily explained with the help of this table. See, now we are taking two countries, America and Britain, or England. We are assuming laborers are equally efficient, okay, or laborers are homogeneous in both the countries. Okay? Again, see, food and clothing, 2 items are taking, and see, a particular labor can produce 2 units of food and 1 unit of see, 2 units of food and 4 units of clothing in America. Okay, at the very same time, the same amount of labor can produce only 1 unit of food and 6 units of clothing in Britain. See, from this table, or evidently, it is seen, see, the America having absolute advantage over Britain in the production of food. Ready? On the other hand, see, Britain having, see, absolute advantage in the production of, in the manufacturing of clothing, okay, than America. If it is so, it is better to enter trade between these two nations. We know, see, America can produce, see, America can 1 hour labor or 1 day labor in America can produce 2 units of food and 2 units of food, but at the same amount of labor can produce only 1 unit of food in Britain. Here America possesses absolute cost advantage, right? And on likewise, see, in the case of clothing, Britain can manufacture 6 units of clothing, while America can produce only 4 units. Here Britain possesses absolute cost advantage over America. Okay, if it is so, it is better to trade in between these two nations according to R. Smith. And see, now it would be better to conclude that, see, the absolute cost advantage theory by R. Smith is, see, neglected because this is a false theory. Okay, the theory is based on certain unrealistic assumptions like perfect competition, full employment, laborers are equally efficient, equal taste and preferences exist in both the countries. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Okay, and if you have any doubt, you just mention in the comment box. I will definitely give you the reply in detail. Okay, see you.